Welcome back to part 2 of my garage declutter, while we continue to talk through some more principles of decluttering. I'm Kate, and we are at the coalface of this declutter again. To give you some perspective, I have released this video on Sunday night New Zealand time, and I was only decluttering my garage one day ago, the Saturday. So let's just squash any ideas that I'm much further ahead in my decluttering journey than anyone else, because I'm not. I just felt like someone needed to hear that. I'm almost in real life time doing this with you and hopefully encouraging you along the way. It's not for the faint-hearted, is it? We know that. Finding time and motivation to declutter amongst an already busy week is difficult. I totally get it. I myself work full-time. I plan my video during the week, video on a Saturday, and then edit on a Sunday. There is not much downtime in my weeks at the moment, as might be yours as well. This can feel overwhelming and too much, but it is actually doable because of these small, consistent habits if you just keep chipping away at it. There is an end goal, and I know it has to happen. And I know you can achieve the same. So let's continue to talk about these principles of decluttering. Principle number 6 of decluttering is we need to keep the momentum of regular decluttering. If you have ever exercised or studied over a longer period of time, then you will understand the concept that the more you do a particular thing consistently on a regular basis, then you are building a new skill and creating a strong habit until it just becomes something that you do because you don't even have to think about it. It becomes built into your life. Well, decluttering is the same. When we are decluttering on a regular basis, we are intertwining it into our lifestyle and it just becomes a habit. You might choose to do something small daily or weekly. The frequency doesn't matter so much as long as it's regular. Anything done on a regular basis is going to produce either a good or a bad outcome, isn't it? Eating a bad diet on a regular basis is not going to give a good health outcome. Investing in relationships on a regular basis is going to result in good friendship, family, work connections. So, when we are choosing to exercise the decluttering muscle consistently, not only does it become an easier task over time because there is less clutter to manage, but you have the momentum and the habit going, so it doesn't feel like such an overwhelming task. Your brain says, "Oh yes, I know how to do this now." So set yourself some decluttering goals. Goals that are manageable and achievable, because this will empower you to keep the momentum going. Small, consistent habits, chipping away. It's the only way to do it. Principle number 7 is to get the family on board. As the saying goes, many hands make light work. The same is definitely true when tackling any decluttering in your home. Firstly, decluttering anything that belongs to other family members is always going to be easier when they understand the mission, going to be cooperative with the end goal, and can actually do the decluttering of their own space. But also, when you have family members who are ready and willing to help with the physical task and decisions around decluttering, then the process is going to feel so much more manageable and not so overwhelming, as if it was one person in the household who was trying to do all of it themselves. The learnt art of decluttering is so much easier to start and continue as a lifelong skill if it is taught from a young age. Some kids definitely seem to have different attachment styles to belongings, which means it is easier or more difficult for them to let go of things. Soft toys has always been a hard one for my girls, and even now at their ages of 18 and 15, they still have multiple soft toys in their wardrobes. But if you can start teaching your kids how to let go of items on a regular basis and be part of the process, then it follows through as a very important and healthy life skill that they will take into their adult years. It's about learning that we can make healthy decisions for our well-being and that we do have control of our stuff, not the other way around. Principle number 8 is to have a negative equity stuff mentality. This means that your long-term goal is to have more stuff, more clutter being removed from your home than is coming in. Having a mindset that I don't need to go and buy more stuff to be happy, but I actually need to own less to positively impact my well-being and mental health. It needs to be a reversal of what we think and believe are the things in our life that will fulfill us, to the true and real things that will actually fill our cups long term. The 1 in, 2 out method, or as I call it, having a negative equity stuff mentality, will help us to keep clutter in check. Objects and items on their own are not clutter, nor are they bad. They are simply an object or an item. But it's when those items start to accumulate over time in your home and other objects are not removed from your home that objects and items start to become clutter. The only way to fix this problem is to have the equation of more is being removed than is being brought into your home. And definitely I would suggest while you are decluttering to avoid purchasing new items, avoid taking free stuff on offer from family or friends, avoid picking up free stuff on the side of the road, avoid trolling second-hand stores for good deals, avoid the online shopping trap. Now, don't get me wrong, having new things is not the enemy here, but challenging and renewing our mindsets around how much stuff we actually are bringing into our homes and the quality of this stuff needs to be evaluated constantly. If we have new items coming into our homes, then our thought process needs to be, okay, I have something new, so what 2 or more items of clutter am I now going to remove from this space? Less in, more out. Principle number 9 is to prioritize quality over quantity. So the crux of this principle is to aim to have fewer but higher quality items. It's too easy these days with fast fashion, online shopping platforms like Temu and other low-cost, affordable stores that mass manufacture, to just buy and accumulate more and more and more. It's an epidemic of buying crappy stuff on a whim because it gives us a dopamine hit. Then we get it home, the dopamine drops, and we need to hit the shops again to get another good feeling spike in hormones. It gets us in this negative cycle of short-term satisfaction, but has a consequence of bringing a huge amount of clutter into our homes. I'm definitely guilty of it. But if we made a purposeful decision to only have curated items in our homes, by this I mean items that have thoughtfully and intentionally been thought about, and then buying the best quality of that item you can afford, It will mean we are only bringing items into our homes that have value and importance. There is a great quote that says, "Have nothing in your house that you do not know to be useful or believe to be beautiful." These are wonderful words to keep in mind when you are thinking about purchasing an item. Principle number 10 is to not keep stuff out of guilt or obligation. This is a tricky one, isn't it? Making decluttering decisions on gifts or things given to us from family and friends can feel emotionally charged when trying to decide, do I keep this or do I pass it on? So Marie Kondo, in her book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, explains this process very well. She explains how when the gift is given to the person who is receiving it, from the person giving the gift, in that moment of exchange and opening, the gift has served its purpose. The feeling of excitement, gratitude and love that the gift receiver experiences, and the joy and the happiness that the gift giver experiences in the moment of that gift exchange is all that matters. The gift has served its purpose already. Because it's all about relationship and feeling like someone has thought of you enough to get you a gift, and the joy of giving a gift is just as special. The fact of whether the gift is something you like or could use or is appropriate for your home then becomes a separate issue. You need to look at the item like you would any other item. And also keep in mind that the gift giver would not want the item to be a burden for you. That was never the intention of the giver or the gift. So always keep this in mind when decluttering gifted items. The gift truly served its purpose already in the moment that it was given to you and you unwrapped it. And the gift giver would not want the gift to then feel like a burden for you in your home because you don't like it or you will never use it. Declutter it without feeling guilt or obligation. And my last principle, principle number 11, is to keep in mind the end goal and the feeling that it will bring. This is such an important aspect to keep in mind when decluttering, because we always have to come back to the why. When we are starting a decluttering journey or are in the thick of it and it just feels so overwhelming, then ask yourself, why am I doing this and how will I feel when I achieve these decluttering goals? These questions are quite grounding and get you to focus on the gains, gaining control back from the clutter, the freedom you will feel when you walk in each room, the calmness and peace that your brain will experience, and the empowerment to yourself. The feeling of being able to exhale when you enter your home, rather than the feeling of anxiety and frustration. Everything in life evokes a feeling of some kind. People, different environments and experiences can trigger certain feelings for us, good or bad, and our homes are no different. The end goal is that you will have a decluttered, organised and tidy home. A home that becomes so easy to manage and clean because you have removed all the unused, unwanted, unloved clutter and only have the items in your home that serve you well and you love them. A home that you are proud to host family and friends in. A home that is a haven to walk into and not a burden. This is what we are aiming for, my friend, because you are worth it. So here we are with all that I have achieved over 2 weekends. I'm so happy with the outcome, but I'm also very realistic with what still needs to be done. I have taken out boxes of paperwork that need decluttering still, Lego that needs a new home, carpet and a pool that can be gifted onwards, paint amongst other DIY products that need to be decided on, and a car boot full of boxes to go to the second-hand store. But a very important thing to remember is that done is better than perfect. If we are striving for perfection in these tasks, then we will never start our decluttering journey. Don't let the decluttering not even get off the ground because your mind is telling you that you're not going to be able to get it up to a certain standard. Done is better than perfect, and it's a journey, not a destination. What I have essentially done in my garage is a macro declutter. The more in-depth and possibly time-consuming items to declutter, like photos, paperwork, junk drawers, etc., would be considered micro decluttering. But the feeling of space, light, calmness, and just joy really when I enter this room now is very impactful to me. Not to mention that it is now functional and I can actually see what is in there. Let me know what decluttering project you are working on, or maybe you are feeling a bit apprehensive about even starting. We can all do with some encouragement. And I would love you to subscribe and join this growing community. I hope to put out videos that are helpful and inspiring for busy families and any person across normal life stuff like decluttering, cooking, cleaning, daily routines, etc. Okay, well that's it from me today, and have a great week, everyone.